Hello people, in this video we want to look at the tests for facial nerve and which part of facial nerve, the intratemporal part of facial nerve. Okay, so first let us recap the facial nerve. So in our facial nerve video we already saw it's cranial nerve 7. It arises from the brain. Okay, then there is some part of it inside the bone, right, and then there is some part of it outside the bone. So in the brain there is some, you see in the cranial cavity there is some part of it, then inside the temporal bone there is a part of it, and then it comes out of the bone, so there is an extracranial part of it. Okay, so intracranial part is from pons to internal acoustic meatus, then intratemporal part is from where? Internal acoustic meatus till stylomastoid foramen, right? So it originates somewhere here, okay, in the pons, etc. Then that is the intracranial part. Then it enters the skull bone, the temporal bone. Within the bone there is a path it travels. Then it comes out to the outside world via the stylomastoid foramen, and then you have the extracranial branches or part. Okay, so the base of the brain, facial nerve is taking origin. Then it will nicely inside your skull it will be there. Then it will enter the bone. So the bone, that hole is called what? Internal acoustic meatus, right? So how is it going to exit? Via this thing, internal acoustic meatus, right? That is how it's going to exit the cranial cavity, but it's not coming outside to the outside world. It's not coming. It is still within the bone. It is going to stay in the bone. Wait. So intratemporal part from internal acoustic meatus to stylomastoid foramen. Where is that? So here it is showing the intratemporal part. So from the internal acoustic meatus, so it is going through all this temporal bone and all that, and then here it comes out to the outside world. So this becomes the extracranial part. So this is the intratemporal part. Okay, before this what was it? Intracranial part, intratemporal and extracranial. So this intratemporal part, okay, it has many parts inside that. The facial nerve, so you have the greater petrosal nerve, nerve to stapedius, chorda tympani nerve, then posterior auricular nerve, nerve of posterior belly of digastric and stylohyoid nerves. Okay, these will be within the intratemporal part. Then you have the terminal branches, which we are not actually bothered about here. Here we are bothered about what? Only the intratemporal part. So look at this now. So internal auditory meatus till the stylomastoid foramen. We are concerned only with this much. So what and all comes here? Greater petrosal nerve. So just let's start again. Internal auditory meatus to stylomastoid foramen is what? It's the intratemporal part of the facial nerve. Here what and all you should know: geniculate ganglion, greater petrosal nerve, okay, nerve to stapedius, chorda tympani nerve. Only three you should know. What does this greater petrosal make you do? It makes you cry, lacrimation. Okay. So this then coming to nerve to stapedius, because of this you will have stapedial reflex, okay, in your ear. Then chorda tympani nerve, what and all? Taste, okay, taste, and also submandibular and sublingual glands. So what will happen? Salivation. Okay. So let us say a person is crying and tears are coming. What will you say? Be happy, your facial nerve is working, the greater petrosal nerve is working. If this one indicating stapedial reflex, so if loud noise happens, then he is able to have the attenuation, right? So that is stapedial reflex, acoustic reflex. So that is also working if he is able to stop this loud noise, right? Because there is stapedial reflex means how it works. Whenever there is loud noise, if it hits one ear, the other ear stapedius muscle also will contract. Then salivation. So if he is drooling, wow, your chorda tympani is fine. Taste sensation, again chorda tympani is fine. So we are talking only about these four things, right? Last thing is what? Facial expression. Paralysis, this we are not talking about because we are not testing that in this section, right? We are not checking the facial expression. We are checking only the intratemporal part. Test for facial nerve, intratemporal part, okay. So now let us start with this. So what is this? It is the textbook says it is topodiagnostic test for lesions in intratemporal part, right? Topo means map. So as a map, now you have already understood. So basically what and all you will see here, You have to draw this and then you have to say, okay, it's going to the lacrimal glands. This person can cry. Stapedius muscle, stapedial reflex, acoustic reflex. Then chorda tympani nerve to the submandibular sublingual glands, so salivation, and then anterior 2/3 of tongue will get what? Chorda tympani, so taste. So this is all you have to test. Facial expressions, motor fibers, we are not looking at that in this video. So let us look at the tests. These are the 4 tests that you have to write for testing the intratemporal part of facial nerve. Intratemporal part of facial nerve. Okay. So what are the 4 tests? Schirmer test or Schirmer test. Then stapedial reflex. Schirmer test, stapedial reflex to check the stapedius muscle. Taste test, so give a nice ice cream. They can, anterior 2/3 of tongue they will use, so taste test. Then lastly, submandibular salivary flow test. Okay. So each of these have separate videos, isn't it? Schirmer test has stapedial reflex or acoustic reflex. We have separate video. Acoustic reflex, there is separate video. Taste test, what is there to explain? Just lick the ice cream and say. Submandibular salivary flow test, we'll give you some details. Wait. Schirmer test or Schirmer test. The spelling is weird. You have to remember Schirmer. Schirmer test they pronounce as. So basically what will they do here? They are checking the tears. So they will put a measurement paper which has measurements like you will measure in this is what paper? Wattman number 42 filter paper. 5 into 35 millimeter. Okay, it is 35 millimeter, yeah. 35 millimeter paper, right? We have already seen all the details. So they will put it and they will measure in 5 minutes. In 5 minutes how much of it has become wet. Normal values are given here. Otherwise, if it is dry eyes or wet eyes, you will be able to see that. So that was about Schirmer test. Now let us look at this acoustic reflex. Actually, impedance audiometry has 2 parts, tympanometry and acoustic reflex. So acoustic reflex, we have information on this, right? So basically, if loud noise on one ear, then you can see that the stapedius muscle in the other ear also will contract, trying to save the ear, right? Taste test. So you give them a drop of salt or sugar, place it in the protruded tongue, one side of the protruded tongue, okay, or by electrogustometry. Impairment of taste indicates lesion above the chorda tympani. So now let us say the person is not even able to cry, then it means to say that the lesion is much before this, right? So all of these anyways won't work. Can you say that? Or otherwise some local lesion. But as far as this facial nerve, if taste doesn't work, then there is some lesion before the chorda tympani. Then submandibular salivary flow test. Shall we go to the submandibular salivary flow test? It also measures the function of chorda tympani. Polythene tubes are passed into both Wharton ducts and drops of saliva counted during 1 minute period. Decreased salivation shows injury above chorda. Okay. So can you say what are the tests for the facial nerve in the intratemporal part? Schirmer test, stapedial reflex or acoustic reflex test, taste test, and submandibular salivary secretion test. Is it salivary flow test? Okay, salivary flow test. Yeah. Now, what is the only thing we have left here? Only the terminal branches of facial nerve we have not checked. Terminal branches, how will you check? Let's add one word on that. These are the terminal branches of facial nerve. You have these branches which are mnemonicus 10 zebra bit my cat. So what and all are there here? Temporal branch, zygomatic branch, buccal branch, mandibular branch, and cervical branch. Cervical. See, cat. Cat is actually referring to cervical. 10 zebra bit my cat. Okay. So check the muscles of facial expression. Crease up their forehead by raising their eyebrows. You can see whether the forehead will get creased. Ask them to close their eyes and ask them to keep their eyes closed against resistance. Ask them to puff their cheeks, blow their cheeks and see if they can hold air inside their cheeks. Ask them to show their teeth, smile, etc. So as you can see here, smiling and lacrimation both are facial nerve. Facial nerve can make you smile, facial nerve can make you lacrimate, that is cry. So let us now conclude this video. What did we look at in this video? Tests for facial nerve intratemporal part. right? So topo diagnostic test for lesions in intratemporal part. So they're just expecting 4 things from you. Schirmer test, lacrimation, greater petrosal nerve, right? That's all they're expecting for you to say. Then stapedial reflex, acoustic reflex, nerve to stapedius. Basically this is noise attenuation or something like that, right? Noise attenuation, okay. Then taste test, you will just say sugar, salt, anterior two-third of tongue. And what will you say? Checking what? Chorda tympani nerve. Chorda tympani nerve. Then lastly, submandibular salivary flow test. You will say count the drops of saliva. Count the drops of saliva. Then what is this again checking? Chorda tympani nerve. Chorda tympani nerve. In case they just say how will you check facial nerve and they don't give intratemporal part, then you have to explain everything. That time you have to tell about, you have to add the extracranial part. That will be this one. Wait. This photograph from internet. Basically, you check the crease on the forehead. Basically, first you should check the symmetry of the face, right? Symmetry of face, left and right side, check with the symmetry. Raise the eyebrow, look at the crease on the forehead. You are more concerned with the crease on the forehead. Ask him to keep his eyes shut and see if you can force open the eyelids. Then ask him to smile, show his teeth. Ask him to keep air in inside his mouth cheeks like this, puff puff. Try to blow balloon type and see. Press on the cheek and see if you can still hold the air. Basically, you can, in a person who has facial nerve palsy or facial nerve paralysis, you can see this drooping of mouth, right? Inability to close eyelid, dry eyes, like that. Now, one question for you guys. So, if there is in facial nerve, there are 3 parts, right? Now, there are 3 parts. What are the 3 parts we said? Intracranial. Then we talked about intratemporal. Then we talked about extracranial. So, intratemporal, how did you check? That lacrimation, stapedius reflex, that is acoustic reflex, then taste and salivation. This you checked. Okay, very good. How did you check extracranial part? By all this. Now, if somebody asks you, what about intracranial part, the first part? Won't you check that? Then what will you say? Intracranial part. So, intracranial part comes before this intratemporal and extracranial part, right? So, basically, if intracranial part itself is damaged, then you can say none of these will be working, right? What do you feel? Correct? No, none of this will work. So, that time the lesion will be higher up in the topo diagnostic thing, okay? So, is it clear? Hope it's clear. So, let's close this video. It's becoming long. Test for facial nerve. We saw the topo diagnostic tests, Schirmer, acoustic reflex, taste test, submandibular salivary flow test. This much 4 terms, if you remember, it's enough for now. That's all for now, guys. Bye.